Chapter 14, we're learning about Merlot. The homeland of Merlot is in Bordeaux, and this is a very versatile grape. It can produce both light and fruity wines, and also can have more full-bodied wines with pronounced concentrated flavors. It is often used to add softness into blends with higher tannin black grapes like Cabernet Sauvignon. So by putting this kind of medium acidity, medium tannin wine, Merlot, with Cabernets, it's softening those tannins in a cab. All right, so in our workbook, we have some of the basics about Merlot. So Merlot, the instructor let us know about, it's kind of got a bad rep from the movie Sideways, but it really has, there are a lot of places that make some really high quality, and they're some of the most expensive wines in the world are the Merlot. So in general, Merlot is usually medium acidity, medium tannin, and typically a dry wine. It has the propensity to get overripe. It is grown in moderate and warm climates, and it has the propensity to get overripe, and that's kind of why it's gotten that bad rep. So the fruit characteristics on the Merlot vary according to the ripeness of the grape. So down here, our primary characteristic vary based on the ripeness, from least ripe Merlot grapes to most ripe Merlot grapes. If we harvest the least ripe Merlot grapes, we're getting herbaceous notes like green bell pepper and red bell pepper, to strawberry and red plum. And then once we get to the most ripe, we're getting black plum, blackberry, and even more ripe, we're getting the cooked black fruits. After Merlot is aged in the bottle, if it's a really great Merlot, some of the most outstanding examples in the bottle will have dried fruit and tobacco. Okay, so we know that Merlots can come in a lot of ways. They can come single varietal, or they can be blended, like we mentioned before, with things like Cabernet to soften the tannins in Cab, for example. So it's used as a blending grape as well. You can get simple or complex. With this one, it can be from light to full-bodied. Usually the lighter bodied Merlots are unoaked, and sometimes you oak it and you can get that fuller body, and that's why I have the crisscross here. Lights are usually unoaked, the oaked ones are usually fuller bodied. Okay. So again, this is in moderate or warm climates, and Merlot grows a lot of places all over the world. Primarily, Merlot is the most widely planted grape in Bordeaux. So this is my map of all of France. And if you recall, we've covered regions like Loire Valley, Burgundy, we've got Northern Rhone, Champagne, Alsace, and now we're over here in this moderate climate of Bordeaux. That's this orange in the picture. So there are a lot of water influences to this region. So we've got the Atlantic Ocean over here, which creates a lot of water and rain in the Bordeaux region. We've also got these rivers. So the Gironde, this is where the Atlantic Ocean comes into the inland part of France right here, and it breaks up into two rivers, the Dordogne River in the north part of Bordeaux, and the Garonne River. So Bordeaux is kind of split between these two rivers that go through Dordogne and Garonne. And everything to the left side of Garonne is called the left bank of Bordeaux. Everything to the right side of Dordogne River is called the right bank. And everything in the middle is Entre des Mars. So Bordeaux, we're gonna get a lot more into the Bordeaux region of France and what grows there. But in France, we've got two main areas where Merlot is grown, primarily Bordeaux region, but we also get it in south of France. And south of France, you can get single variety Merlots. You can also get it blended with Cab, Syrah, and also Grenache. Okay, so that's pretty much all we're gonna say about south of France, as it grows kind of all over the place there. Now let's dig into more detailed portions of Bordeaux region and where it grows in Bordeaux. So this is a map of Bordeaux. Again, we have the Gironde portion that meets the Atlantic Ocean, and then these two rivers split off, Dordogne and Garonne. We have everything from here over is left bank, left bank, and everything from here, from this area up is right bank, and in the center is Entre des Mars. Okay, so Merlot is grown all over Bordeaux. The predominant grape of all of Bordeaux is Merlot, and Merlot is also used in a lot of blends, and those blends are labeled Bordeaux AOC or Bordeaux Superior AOC. And that means usually in anything that's Bordeaux AOC or Bordeaux Superior AOC, usually the dominant grape is Merlot. The main regions where the most famous Merlots come from are on the right bank. The right bank has clay, wet, and cooler climate than the left bank. The left bank has greater drainage, drier and warmer. Then the right bank, specifically Pomerol and Saint-Emilion, have some of the most famous Merlots in the world, and they've got flavors of black fruits, and they're oaking those Merlots. Okay, Merlot does grow everywhere in Bordeaux for the most part, and those are called Bordeaux AOC wines or Bordeaux Superior. Bordeaux Superior is just a little bit more stricter. Stricter rules regarding the yields and the aging and the alcohol levels than the Bordeaux AOC. So if you see Bordeaux Superior, if you see Bordeaux, it's probably just Merlot-based blend, with Merlot being the predominant grape. If you see Bordeaux Superior, maybe it would say Bordeaux Superior right there, then it's still Merlot-based main grape, but it has probably a little bit higher quality. Then we can get into our left bank and right bank. So on the left bank, the main principal districts of the left bank are Medoc, and that's this whole region. Graves, and that's this whole region. and Sauternes. Those are the 3 in the book, the principal districts. And then they have smaller, kind of more like Grand Crus and villages within these principal districts. On the right bank, the main districts are Pomerol and Saint-Emilion, and those are where some of the most famous Merlots are coming from. Okay, that's really it for Bordeaux. We're gonna learn a lot more when we dig into Cabernet. But for now, remember Pomerol and Saint-Emilion is where some of the best Merlots are grown. Also, just to recap, remember that Sauvignon Blanc is the main white grape in Bordeaux. Merlot is the main red grape in Bordeaux. Okay, now quickly let's go through the rest of where Merlots are made. In California, Merlots are made in all styles, kind of all throughout the state. You can find them single variety and you can find them blends. You can find fuller body examples in Napa and Sonoma. So you kind of have light bodied ones, you have fuller bodied ones all over the state. In Chile, the warmer Central Valley is where you can get soft, medium-bodied Merlots. And these are high volume brands, so making a ton of Merlot in Chile as well. In South Africa, in the Western Cape, there's a region called Stellenbosch. And this region has both warm and moderate climates, depending on the altitude because there's mountains. And also depending on the influences of the sea. If it's close to the Atlantic Ocean here, these in the Indian Ocean, these sea breezes, ocean breezes will influence this coastal area in Stellenbosch. We are growing Merlot in Stellenbosch. In Australia, the Margaret River, Merlot is grown in this moderated area, moderated by the water surrounding. It's close to the 30-degree latitude, but it's not as hot because of its location and the breezes. And these Merlots are also being blended here in Margaret River with the cab blends. In New Zealand, we have some single variety blends with cab. We have both single variety and blends with cab, light to full bodied in Hawke's Bay in the North Island of New Zealand. Okay, so in conclusion, today producers throughout the world are proving Merlot does not need to be blended to create impressive, complex wines with excellent aging potential. So there was this bad stigma that Delac talked about in class, and now producers are proving that Merlots don't necessarily need to be blended to get a complex wine, and some of the most expensive wines in the world are Merlot, coming from the Bordeaux region of France, coming from the cooler side of the right bank of Merlot, including Pomerol and Saint-Emilion. And its medium tannins acidity makes it a wonderfully versatile grape that's capable of producing refreshed, unoaked, at all quality levels, as well as powerfully flavored wines that benefit greatly from period of oak and or bottle maturation. Okay, and the most famous ones in Pomerol and Saint-Emilion, they are actually oaking those wines. All right, that's it for Merlot.